what we can actually do to overcome those differences. If I may come to you, you have recently done a major step in your relations with Azerbaijan. It's been a long conflict. From your point of view, what would be the lessons also for the European Union as it wants to upgrade its role, so to speak?
Thank you very much. And before starting, just to say that probably today we are having a small confidence-building measure with my Azerbaijani colleagues, so we are reciprocally attending each other's sessions. And this year probably will be the first year that Azerbaijani ambassador will not counter with his statement to what I'm speaking. But coming to a question and also trying to reflect on the experience of European facilitation, on Armenia-Azerbaijan normalization process, Biden administration facilitation, and also Trump 2 facilitation in this project. You know what we're lacking sometimes is to not only to have vision, but also sometimes to exercise some pressure and muscular diplomacy in order to reach the agreements. And I know when Phil was dealing with Armenia-Azerbaijan issues, he was always sharing the same example from Balkans perspective. And maybe this was one of the keys that enabled reaching of a peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And a second, what was very important, especially nowadays, when we're speaking about geopolitics, we also should probably speak about geoeconomy as well. And the economic component in all the relations, including in normalization, talks, and in this case particularly, it was huge, because many of the obstacles which were not being overcame for 30-35 years, they became easier to agree on when we added the economic component on opening of the communications in our region with American participation in the deal, which means American interest in the deal, which means greater American pressure to both sides to come to an agreement. But before continuing to reflect on the question, if I may also make a couple of comments on what I heard by you and our distinguished colleagues. So when we are speaking about Europe's and European Union's geopolitical aspirations, probably we need to give a right diagnosis why it's not happening so far. Mm-hmm. And to me, it would be precise to say that European bureaucrats are the biggest enemy of European politicians, and their ambition to have Europe as an independent actor, as a geopolitical actor in a way, and to have a strategic autonomy. And when you were asking a question to Phil about whether US will support the strategic autonomy of Europe, I would rather say that it's not only about supporting, but done it on purpose or no, Trump is pushing on this direction in Europe. And to me, this is a unique opportunity for Europe in general to work on this direction, which requires much of political will. And this political will is required not only outside of the European Union to act, but also internally to overcome the bureaucracy. because just to give an example from Armenia, that recently, a couple of months ago, we adopted a law on starting a process on EU accession. Every leader that my prime minister was meeting in the margins of different summits, European or any other events, they were wholeheartedly welcoming this decision and trying to encourage Armenia to take this direction. When we are going to statements of different MFAs or EIS, we are welcoming the deepening of Armenia-EU relations. And this shows clearly that we are lacking some geopolitical courage in a way, you know. But also some other aspects that I would like to touch upon when we were speaking about, again, European autonomy, etc. There were comments about the European powers. And when I was reflecting the answers, to me, I had an impression that we are speaking only about a couple of maybe Western European countries, UK, and the rest are left behind. But to me, Europe is not only about a couple of major EU member states. This is about the idea of democracy and the project of peace. And the project of peace cannot be holistic if we are not counting Central European countries, Eastern European countries, Western Balkans, in a way also South Caucasus. And it is important that in this way of developing the strategic autonomy, the key, not even partners, but probably the primary members of the projects are not left behind, and their voices are heard.